Welcome to Deliverable 7 Business Development and Sales Plan. Note the subtitle, Putting It All Together. Pause, reflect on what you've covered up to Deliverable 7. Our goal is to create a summary of the things that we have learned. Our objectives. I always encourage you to go inside our course and read the course content. And then we'll be ready to start working on Deliverable 7. As you can see by the first subtitle, it says Title Slide. That means you'll be creating a PowerPoint. Step 1. Compare the business development representative role to a sales representative role. Next, develop a plan for building a productive working relationship between the business development representatives and sales team. Next, identify a target market. Create a customer profile, determine a target area, and establish target area geographic boundaries. Now, this is over and above the target markets and customer profiles you have completed in previous deliverables. Step 4. We will identify strategies you will use to create long-term, sustainable relationships with business customers. Next, explain how you will utilize customer relationship management, or CRM, to help manage all current and potential customer and business relationships and improve your profitability. Next, list key CRM trends. Kind of take a look out to 2025 and beyond and identify some emerging CRM trends. Next, establish a conclusion slide, and finally, your references slide. Now, when you create your PowerPoint, you should put keywords and phrases and images on your slides. In the notes section of the PowerPoint, please put detailed information. Imagine you're going to present your PowerPoint to an audience. For each slide, what would you say? Whatever you would say, type that information in the notes section of the slide. Your total amount of words should be approximately between 700 and 850 words. During this presentation, I will offer you some resources to help you complete Deliverable 7. All right, let's look at the competencies and the scenario. So for Deliverable 7, your competencies are distinguished between the primary purposes, of business development and sales. Next, build strategic B2B relationships to increase profitability. Next, devise tactics to identify new markets for a particular product or service. Next, develop tactics to manage the relationship between a business development representative, or BDR, and the sales team. Apply the appropriate steps of customer relationship management to create a competitive advantage. And finally, assemble emerging trends in customer relationship management for execution of the most current IT components. Scenario information. I encourage you to read this information. And as you're reading the information, focus on the fact that we are working with a B2B relationship, a business to business relationship. Instructions. You have made tremendous progress in creating a new business development and sales plan. Congratulations. Time to present your findings. You will present your business development plan as a PowerPoint presentation. You can see the steps you should address, include a title slide, conclusion slide, and references. Again, remember to use keywords, phrases, and images on your slides. Put detailed information in the notes section of your PowerPoint. So if you get an idea, you will at least create 9 slides. I always encourage you to view the grading rubric before you start. Look at the mastery column. Number 1, you thoroughly explain the BDR role compared to sales rep. Number 2, you thoroughly developed a plan for building a productive working relationship between the BDR and sales team. Criterion 3, you thoroughly constructed strategies for identifying new markets. Criterion 4, you thoroughly identified and explained the strategies for gaining new B2B customers. And finally, you will list some CRM trends. Remember to always go back and look at previous readings and assignments. What have you learned up to now? Our goal is to pull all this information together as well as additional new information. We want to link all of our previous knowledge and broaden it with new information. Remember, Deliverable 7 is worth a lot more than Deliverables 1 through 6. Deliverables 1 through 6 each were worth approximately 11%, or a total of 66%. Well, now you're dealing with a comprehensive deliverable. It is worth 28%. So it's worth a lot more because at this point, we believe you have learned a lot. So let's look at the first thing. Compare the BDRO to the sales rep. I know you've already done that, but continue to reflect on what you have learned and offer some new information. Sales versus business development. I like that image. You kind of get the idea that you have two different roles. Sales and business development. People might think it's just two different ways to refer to the same activity, getting your company's product into customer hands. Then you reflect and you say, is that right? Well, no. Actually, sales and business development should not be considered the same job at all. Instead, think of the two roles as complementary halves of a whole. Let me offer you a possible resource. I like this image. I'll provide a link to this article in our course announcements. Develop a plan for building a productive working relationship between the business development representative and sales team. Let me offer you some information about that. You want to build strong, positive relationships at work. So, how do you do that? How would you do that? Here's some tips. You want to establish open and honest communication, show appreciation, engage in active listening, be positive, develop your people skills, be clear about your needs. Remember, communication is two-way street. And most of all, always display respect. How to transition a lead from a BDR to a sales rep. I'll be posting a link to this article in our course announcements. Some of the topics that you will address in that article: define what makes a qualified lead, see the right expectation with the lead, immediately schedule the meeting, enter detailed notes into a CRM. We have learned a lot about using a CRM. We know that it helps unite all the different departments of an organization. And your customer. Send a meeting reminder and keep communication lines open. Remember, smooth transitions drive revenue. Another concept you'll be focusing on are strategies for identifying new markets. We've already talked about this in previous sessions, but now it's time to recall and deliver new information. Article by Harvard Business School: How to Identify Business and Market Opportunities. I will put a link to that recording or article in our course announcements. Faster Capital: Identifying New Market Opportunities. I give you 5 ways. Understand customer needs, analyze competitors, assess market trends, conduct a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And finally, leverage data analytics. Now keep in mind, we're not dealing with a B2C, we're dealing with a B2B, business to business. There's another item you might like. It even provides a free kit to help you get ready to go to the market. You can see some of the things that you'll learn. You can download this free go-to-market kit. I thought this image was interesting. It's the buyer's journey. Tofu, mofu, bofu. Starting at the top of the funnel. They can start reading white papers, checklists, and watching short videos. Some people will choose to stay with your company, and others will exit. And then we move to the middle of the funnel. Some companies are still deciding if you're the right company for them or not. They'll continue to read ebooks, case studies, tutorials, and watching demo webinars. And finally, we're at the last level of the buyer journey, bottom of the funnel. Now they're ready to try. They want a quote. They want a proposal. So as we come through this filter, more and more businesses will filter out. But by the time you get to the bottom, hopefully you have identified the best lead, and you'll pass that to the sales team. Strategies for gaining new B2B customers. Starting at the bottom and coming up, you can see that you start at the objective level and you move up to personal or subjective. There's 40 distinct kinds of value that B2B offerings provide customers. Figure out where your potential customer is. Where are they on this? Where do you want them to be? B2B sales strategies to improve your sales game. I found several. I'll be providing you with a link to this article. Just kind of glance at some of the strategies. And then you have a few more. Hopefully that piques your interest and you'll read the article. I will put a copy of the link to the article in our course announcements. CRM Trends 2025. I'll offer you some resources, but you know you're always encouraged to find your own. 5 key statistics about CRM in 2025. CRM systems are being crucial in helping shape your business. And finally, this is our review. We know we need to read the Module 7 content, and then we'll start developing our PowerPoint. We'll draw on information we have already learned and introduce new information. You'll be creating a PowerPoint. Remember to use key phrases, statements, images on your slide, and detail information in the notes section of your PowerPoint. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Remember, I go into our course several times a day. I notice that you haven't really completed any deliverables, so keep your eye on the time we have left. I encourage you to start now so you can have a successful semester. Thank you.